Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we're going to be talking about Facebook because apparently Facebook failed to warn its users of known risks in September of 2018 and suffered probably their worst user data breach in history. And thanks to a new report, we know that this was incredibly more damaging than what has been let on. Now, before we get to this new report, let's talk about this Facebook breach. And I've got notes here because basically a new lawsuit has been filed against Facebook, and this is courtesy of Reuters. Now, basically what ended up happening is in September of 2018, about 29 million user accounts basically had stolen access tokens or login codes basically ripped from their accounts. This is for the single sign-on feature. Now, if you are not familiar with what single sign-on is, think about it this way. When you log into Facebook, you're logged in. Let's say you go to sign up for another website, and that website says, sign in here with Facebook. You basically click there, it accepts your credentials from Facebook, and registers you and logs you in. That is single sign-in. And basically, and I'm not going to get into the technical details, but there's a token system in the back that basically validates identity as you're going from one site to the other, and on and on and on. Now, from this lawsuit that was recently filed, the plaintiffs state, and I quote, Facebook knew about the access token vulnerability and failed to fix it for years despite that knowledge. Even more egregiously, Facebook took steps to protect its own employees from the security risk, but not the vast majority of its users. Now, this is what plaintiffs filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California in San Francisco just this past Thursday. Now, Facebook hasn't said much about this, only to say that it's basically affected a broad spectrum of users without actually breaking down demographics, countries, etc., etc., etc. Now, the attackers took things like birth dates, employers, education history, religious preference, types of devices used, pages followed, and the recent search location for about 14 million of these users. The other 15 million, the breach was restricted to name and contact details. In addition, attackers could see posts and lists of friends and groups for about 400,000 users or so. They did not steal personal messages or financial data and did not access user accounts. This is according to Facebook, so take that for what it's worth. But here's why this breach is so incredibly serious. First, on a single sign-in scenario, basically, you are now potentially giving somebody access to every site that you've logged into using Facebook's single sign-on feature, which means anywhere that you've basically clicked, use Facebook to sign in, that hacker potentially had access to that. And now, thanks to a new report, we know that more than half, literally more than half of all social media login attempts are actually fraud. Now, this comes from the Q3 Fraud and Abuse report released literally within the last 24 to 48 hours from Arcos Labs. They analyzed 1.2 billion user transactions conducted between April 1st and June 30th of this year to basically get a sense of fraud and what the risk landscape is. Now, these sessions span account registrations, logins, payments from companies in the financial services, e-commerce, travel, social media, gaming, and entertainment. Now, the company discovered a mix of automated and human-driven fraud targeting businesses' transactions across all kinds of industries. But 11% of these sessions were attacks, but over 50% of the logins to social media were automated and fraudulent, basically hackers trying to get in. So if we are stealing these tokens, it would be very easy to automate and then attempt to just log in to multiple social media sites and sites that connect to it through single sign-on. This is a serious problem that needs addressing. Facebook, fortunately and hopefully, will be taken to task for this, and the judge presiding over this case said in January that he is willing to basically dive deep into Facebook to see exactly how far this goes, and I really hope we get traction because, quite frankly, you guys have seen my videos on Facebook and the utter disaster for privacy that they have been. So take that for what it's worth, but that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, and please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube. I could probably use the followers. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.